Welcome to this, your daily briefing, brought to you live from Big Brother's House of Pain, day 52. Extraordinary scenes, by anybody's standards, this business of Paulo Fonseca. I have notes, and I started, I'm going to use bits of them, but I started rereading them, and it looked like I penned a suicide note. This is really concerning. This is the best way I can put it. It's like a bad episode of Only Fools and Horses, and this is one of the bits that they cut out. Rodney turns to Dell and says, "We're really in it this time, bruv. We're proper up against it. What should we do?" And Dell says, "Don't worry, I've just got off the blower to Zorro." I mean, this guy's a clown. And I know it's terrible to speak about somebody that you've never met and have very little knowledge, real knowledge, in-depth knowledge of. However, anyway, let's get into it. The spin is already coming. The spin is going to be huge if this goes ahead. So, don't get spun. That's my advice, kids. Paul O'Keefe is a big player on Twitter. He impresses strangers. He's also registered with the FA as an intermediary. And Paul says, "If the DOF has decided the best man is Fonseca, then you go and get Fonseca. If both appointments are confirmed, then at least we will know where responsibility for transfers and results lie. If it don't work, then, his words not mine, there is no hiding place. Culpability, it's needed at Tottenham." I worry about people like this, genuinely. I mean, I wish I could be them maybe for 20 minutes to recapture that sort of childlike naivety where you think there's a Father Christmas. But this is a device. We've had untold number of directors of football, and this is just another one. And the whole thing just doesn't surprise me. And if you can't see through it, it's a device to distance Daniel Levy when things go wrong, because he keeps on saying no, and can't we get a cheaper version to his employees, his staff. Nobody succeeds at Spurs because one man blocks the road to success. Very straightforward. People have been discussing on the YouTubes and on the Twitter and all the rest of it, how much somebody I saw, they were talking about how much, it was on TalkSport, there you go, and Danny Murphy was saying, to bring Spurs up to the same standard, same levels as like Chelsea and City and Liverpool. He said, you're looking at about 300-400 million. Well, I'm going to keep repeating this because at some point it's going to permeate some brains like that one. We could be there. We stuck 240 million quid into this bloody stadium that now makes us the mockery of football, world mockery. And if you stuck 240 million in when they stuck it in, then that would equate to continued investment in the squad and the playing personnel. That would equate to about 300-400 million that you would have diverted in the right direction. So, yes. So usually on purely financial grounds is why Daniel stops people from doing things, and the irony here is thick because clearly this is the guy who spent like a lunatic on the stadium, £1 billion, and it was obscenely over budget to boot. Laughingstock. Oh yeah, this is the one. So forget the third tier of European football, and trust me, that's coming, and that's going to be rubbish, proper rubbish. I pointed out on the blog when the stadium thing came up, I said, on theboyhotspur.com, I said, this isn't what we need. It's a diversion from where we should be heading. It's nothing to do with football, and who uses this model. I was also concerned about the Mark 1 technology. of the retractable pitch, and I'm convinced, I stand by this, that somebody's going to drop a toffee crisp wrapper in that thing and it's going to jam. So anyway, so who uses this model? So I did a bit of digging, and it didn't take me very long to work out if Spurs' different way was in actual fact unique. It is to a certain extent, but other clubs have sunk money into stadiums on the basis that they believe it's going to catapult them, project them into the where they want to go, into the big time. Examples of this include Brighton, but see, Brighton didn't spend £1 billion, and also it is actually just a football stadium. Coventry City's Rico Arena, third time lucky, that's been a plane crash. But the cherry on the guano cake of bad stadium investments is the Darlington Arena. And I was on a train going past that particular architectural vision, and I didn't know, and I asked the fella sat opposite me, and he told me the background to the fact that it was this, and the club moved from where they were to this brand new world. And as we went past it, I could see it was boasting a gigantic tarpaulin bearing the words "Car boot here, car boot sale here, Sundays." So we've got debris, fuselage, wreckage, you name it, whatever you want to call it, twisted metal around people that try to skew the situation so they can turn their operations into a huge money making exercise. And now we've got flying in, hot footing from God knows where, Paulo Fonseca, who has to be the Gedson Fernandes of football managers. Big in a place that's a long way away from here, and once he gets here, he'll be immediately irrelevant. Yes, he has done well in Ukraine. No two ways about it. But that's Shakhtar Donetsk. They're that bunch of what's-its-names we played in the Europa. I cannot get excited that we've taken their most successful manager. And that was ages ago as well. That was was it 2016, 17, 18 or something he was there? And I'll tell you something else as well, and this perhaps is the parting shot. My biggest worry about this guy, and I've already admitted to you that I don't have an expert understanding of the man, so I may look like a complete fool in a few months' time. But my biggest worry is that what I do know about him, he has form for losing his mind. And the Zorro outfit, yeah, do you know what that was for? Shakhtar Donetsk beat Manchester City in the Champions League by 2-1. Now, I haven't investigated to see what the City team was, but obviously beating City in Europe's top flight is something to celebrate. However, in itself, it's not that much of an achievement because it's one game. It's like people who lose their mind over that Ajax match. It was great, but in the scheme of things, but they beat City, and this was City's first defeat in 29 games. So it was a historic game. But this secured Donetsk as Group F runners-up into the last 16 of the tournament. I mean, this is all the screaming and the crotch grabbing and all the rest of it. It's getting overexcited before the big opportunity to be excited has arrived. Conte didn't get involved with Tottenham. And I said on the tape yesterday, and I put it out on the blog, the conversations, from my understanding with Conte, were brief because Tottenham didn't fit the remit. Elite managers these days, they're not looking for projects. They're not interested in building. They get in, they do the job, and they get out again. That's how it works. Conte didn't get involved with us because there was no budget and there was no surefire appetite for winning silverware. That was the problem with Conte. And the real, excuse me, the real problem that Daniel Levy's got, which is going to have him going through the bargain bin and looking at people like Fonseca, is the fact that he got rid of Mourinho. And that tells anybody with their head screwed on, what the opportunity is at Spurs. So we're in for a few days. I think this might get wrapped up. I can see this happening. I think we're in for a few days of back and forth, but I think this guy's gonna sign in seconds. You won't be able to believe his luck. We shall see, huh? Good luck. Take care. Keep it Tottenham.